There are different ways to bet on these numbers, and that's why the layout is complicated, and that's where the complication comes into the game. The game itself, very simple. The bets can be intimidating. So today we're gonna try to remove some of that intimidation for you. So maybe if you've never played the game or you wanna try it for the first time, this video is for you.
Color up, how to play craps, the quick start guide. It's the Gambling Fanatic. We're here to discuss a little bit about the layout of it and the factors that goes along with playing the game of craps. Obviously, it's a very popular game. You have bubble craps, and then you have this form of it where you actually hit the tables and buy in on playing a game of craps. And I used to be somebody in high school who used to always play it in the back of the schoolhouses, in the bathrooms, at the lunch tables, you know, when out without the the campus security guard looking and whatnot. And it was always 9 to 5 bets and 10 to 4s, 6 8s. And as I grown older and come to know that it is legal to play in casinos, you have so many variations to where you can make money playing this game. And it's beautiful to see, if I'm being honest. I mean, back in high school it was just the 2 points. You hit the side, you got the point, then you got the side bet. But I'm hearing you can place bets on any of the points or any of the numbers, and they don't necessarily have to be a point. So, and then you have the harder ways, and then you got the horn bets, and then you got the the ATSs. I mean, the list goes on and on with how you can make money in this game. So we finna sit here and watch this color up production with how to play craps. Without further ado, it is right back on you.
Craps table has two sides that just mirror each other. They are really there just to allow for more players, and most tables can accommodate up to 8 players per side. So let's get rid of one side of the table and let's just focus on one side of the table. Now let's look at the center of the table. These are called your proposition bets. Now they are low percentage.
So you got the CNE, craps in 11. You got the fill bet, don't pass. Let's hear them discuss or break it down and what everything means.
Which means they're very unlikely that you roll them. Now if you do, they pay well, but they're unlikely to happen. They're very risky bets. So as a beginner player, you really don't even need to consider these bets until you understand them more. And veteran players, a lot of them won't even play these bets just because they are high house edge bets. So let's go ahead and remove it from their table for demonstration purposes. Next we have the pass line, and this is the most fundamental bet in the game. So let me take a second to explain this, and this will explain a lot of the other bets. I understand this bet could be a little confusing for beginners, so just bear with me, but once you got this, you can basically master the game. All right, so let's make a bet on the pass line. It comes in 2 parts. The first part of the game is when this puck says off. When the puck is off, the 7 or 11, if you roll them with 2 dice, the 7 or 11 will cause your bet to win. If you roll a 2, 3, or 12, you cause the bet to lose. That's it. No other number matters.
It's a simple 7 or 11, come out roll, 2, 3, 12, crap numbers, right, on a come out roll. So pass line is basically a come out roll bet, banking on you hitting one of the numbers, and that will be your point. But if you roll 7 or 11, it's a win. If you hit 2, 3, or 12, those are the crap numbers. So anytime you play the pass line and you roll 2, 3, 12, it is a crap. If you roll 7 or 11, it is a win. Now, if you don't pass, 2, 3, 12 is a winner, and the 7 or 11 is a loser. So it's the complete opposite, and don't pass and then pass line.
11 wins, 2, 3, and 12 is a loser. If you win, they'll pay you right next to your bet.
1 and 1.
If you lose, they'll take away your bet. Now, if you remember, I said there are 11 different numbers that can roll with these dice. So if the 7 or 11 or 2, 3, or 12 doesn't roll, then it's going to be one of these numbers up here. And what happens if one of those numbers roll, let's say it's the 10, they'll take this marker, the dealers will, and put it on the number 10. So if you have a bet on the pass line and it survived the first roll, now your bet is on the 10. At this point in the game, this is the second part of the game, if the 10 rolls, you win your bet. If the 7 rolls, you lose your bet. No other number matters. So again, The 10 rolls we win, the 7 we lose. Now if the puck was moved to a different number, let's say the 6, at this point our bet is on the 6. We want the 6 to roll. If the 6 rolls we win, the 7 rolls we lose. So when this puck is on, the 7 is a bad number, and that's what you want to avoid. Now the don't pass is opposite of the pass line. If you have a bet on that, the 7 or 11 will lose, and the 2 and 3 will win. And then whenever the puck goes on a number, in this case it's a 9, we're actually betting for the 7 will win our bet, and the 9 will lose our bet. So it's the opposite. So once you have a real understanding of the pass line, the don't pass is basically the same bet, and you'll understand that. So let's go ahead and remove that off of my layout here. Moving up on the layout, now we have the field. This is a real simple bet to understand. If you make a bet on here and one of these numbers that you see rolls, you win your bet. If one of
It's a one-time roll opportunity to hit the field numbers, which is 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12 and 2 pays double. In some casinos, the 12, matter of fact, the 2 will pay triple. No, the 12 play triple. One of the 2 paid triple, and the other one paid double. But it's a one-time roll. If you don't hit any of the numbers, you lose it. So if you roll a 8, if you roll a 6, if you roll a 5, 7, obviously, you lose the field bet.
you don't see roll, which is the 5, 6, 7, or 8, you lose your bet. Real simple bet. That's an easy one. Next up, we have the come. Now the come is exactly like the pass line, but you play it in the middle of the game when this puck is on a number. So if you understand the pass line, you'll understand the come bet. So let's go ahead and remove it from our layout.
So the come bet is pretty much like the pass. If you do the come bet, you put a chip. You can actually pay the pass line as well, and then you can do the come as well. So if you roll a number 8 and you plan to come bet, your chip will go on to the 8. Let's say if you roll the 8 again, and let's say if your pass line is 5, but you roll another 8, you will get that bet plus your chips back. So it'll be basically doubled, and instead of the 8 staying on your chips that from the comeback stand on an 8, it'll come back to you. So it's almost like it's just like a pass line bet. It's no different than it. If you go if the point is 6 and you got a comeback going and you roll it and the shooter rolls a 9, your bet is going to go on to the 9, and the sooner you hit a 9, the sooner you can win that bet, and the chips come back to you instead of it staying up there as if you placed a bet on that number.
Next up, we have the box numbers 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Now, these are mirrored numbers of each other. The 4 and 10 mirror each other, the 5 and 9, and the 6 and 8. So what that means is it's the same odds and payouts on the 4 as it is on the 10. The 5 and 9 are the same, and the 6 and 8 are the same.
The payouts. Payouts for 10 and 4. Um, 9 to 5. 5 and 9 is 7 to 5. And then you have 6, 8, which is 7 to 6. So for every $6 you get paid. And it might be different. It might be different. Three to 2, 5 and 9, 6 and 5. Okay, there it is. Well, let's see what he says it is, because I think it's different.
So once you learn how to bet on the 4, 5, and 6, you automatically will understand how to bet and get paid on the 8, 9, and 10. So to simplify our layout, let's go ahead and remove the 8, 9, and 10. Now, as you can see, the layout is substantially less intimidating, or at least it is for me to understand. We have the pass line, the field, and the 4, 5, and 6. Basically 5 bets to understand this whole game. I hope this little example eases your fears a little bit, because the game, although it looks complicated, at its core, really not so much. Let's head back.
Yeah, you did a great job simplifying how the game is played. I wish I knew his name, who runs the Color Up channel, but he did a really good job at taking those who are intimidated at playing this game and kind of simplifying it with letting them know, like, hey, these are the simplistic ways of playing this game. This is all you need to know. If you know this, you can be somewhat successful. The other stuff get more complex, and I'm pretty sure he might deep dive into it, but as of right now, that was a good example with how to play the game.
My table, and let's talk about some things you should do when you play for the very first time or approach the table for the first time. When you come up to the table, the very first thing you want to look for is this little plaque. Now this is going to tell you how much it costs to play the game, or the minimum bet that's allowed. It might say $3, $10, $15, $25, or maybe even a fancy casino as high as $50. This is your minimum bet, which means your one single bet has to be at least,
$10,
in our example, we're going to use $10. So you have to bet $10 to make any bet on the table. The next thing you want to look for is this puck. If it says it's on and it's on a number, that means you're in the middle of the game. Yeah. At that point, just stay at the table and wait. It may only take a few minutes. Sometimes it'll take a little longer, but at some point, this puck is going to be turned off. That means the hand is over and the players are going to start again. Now the dealer may be busy for a moment.
Just for those who don't know, I mean, if you go to any casino from Sunday through Tuesday and you get there early enough, you might have some $5 tables. At the expensive casinos, it'd be 10, but at the cheaper casinos, you can get a bang for your dollar at $5 a buy-in. So just keep that in mind.
Off a bunch of bets or removing a bunch of losing bets, but there's going to be a little pause in the action. At that point is when you want to put your money on the table. Now you could just simply put the money on the table in front of you. You could place it up here in the come, because that's where the dealer's going to make the change. But you just let them know that you want to play. The dealer's going to take your money and count out your money. In this case, we have $300, and then he's going to slide you your chips.
Hey, if you've been trying to remove this from your life so that you can be more in alignment with what's inside of this book, and you've continued to fail over and over,
Now there's going to be a rail in front of you. You're going to pick up your chips and put them in the rack in front of you. Now you're ready to play the game. Now, depending on your personality is how I would approach playing this game. For me, I was super nervous. I think my hands were shaking the first time I played this game, honestly. So what I would recommend for you is when the puck is off, you just take the minimum bet, depending on what the sign says, and we're just going to place it on the pass line in front of you. So if you're standing over here in the corner, you'll just put it there.
He's correct. But I must say, right, we gotta give them the real if we're gonna spill the truth about this game, right? When you playing the game of craps, you have to realize that not everybody there is to just throw the dice, right? Everybody have a strategy. Everybody got some type of method that they go along with playing this game. One thing that I like to do personally when I get to the crap tables is just scan a little bit, right? Look at the table, see who's very good at shooting the dice and not just throwing the dice, right? Those who set the dice give us more of a high probability chance at hitting the numbers. So I like to scan for those who know how to shoot the dice, and then look for those who know how to go and obviously it's luck, but some who are there and more streaky with the way they roll, right? So just having a good eye for who know how to set the dice and who's good at rolling the dice, so you can have a high probability chance at hitting those numbers. But playing the pass line is more ideal. But if it's a cold table, don't feel afraid to play the don't pass. If the table is cold and it's been rolling sevens all night, don't be afraid. Most people be afraid because they feel like they're going against the people at the table, but you ain't going against nobody but yourself when you at these casinos. Because when your bills is due and that car payment is up, you got to pay that, not nobody else at the table. So you do whatever you can to make the money, not to make friends.
If you're over here, you'll just put it there. So you just put the bet in front of you. That's it. That's all I would do. That's how I'd play this game and maybe observe what's going on. You'll see kind of the flow of how when numbers are rolled, the dealer pays things out, other players bet. And so you'll observe and learn a lot just by staying there with actually, this is a great bet. If you just stick with this bet, you're probably not going to win much money. You're probably not going to lose much money either. It's almost a 50-50 bet. Now that's it. Until you understand the game more, I would just stick to that, watch some more of my videos, learn some of the other bets, and then give them a try, or ask the dealer. They can help you out with some of these other bets. Now, not everyone has...
Yeah, so when he says a 50-50, I wouldn't necessarily call it a 50-50. It is a stagnant bet, right? So it's better to play more numbers than just the pass line. 6-8 are gives you more of a chance to hit the numbers because they come in different variations, more variations than like the 9 and 5. The 9 and 5 will be the next numbers in line for more variations to hit that number. The more less likely numbers to hit will be the 4 and 10. Considering the variations, right? You got the 2-2, the hard way, the hard 4, and then you have the 3-1, right? And for the 10, obviously you have the hard 10, and then you have 6 and 4. So just keep that in mind too when you only plan a pass line. Just know that who's ever rolling, let's say if they're on a good little streak and they hitting numbers outside of just that pass line number, those be more inclined to make more money than those who just play the pass line. It's more of a stagnant. I mean, you can be there longer because you're not losing as much, but nor are you winning as much either. So
personality like me, some people are like, all right, I got some money, this game looks interesting, let's give it a try. And they'll, they'll hear other people making bets and they'll copy their bets. So it's just going to depend on your personality. But the next step after making this pass line bet, if you wanted to bet on another number, I would stick to the 6 and 8. And you could just tell the dealer, I'd like to make a bet on the 6. How much money do I need? They'll gladly help you out. On a $10 table, they're going to tell you these are $12 bets. All the other numbers are $10. But to be paid properly, and again, this is a complicated thing that you'll learn as you study more about the game, but when you bet on the 6 and 8, it should always be in increments of $6. On a $5 game, you're going to bet $6 on the 6 or 8. On $10 here we're at 12 on a $10 table.
$15.
You're going to bet $12. So the dealer's going to ask you for $12, and then you could pick one, the 6 or 8, or you could bet on both, depending on how much money you want to risk. But these are the two bets I'd stick to. I do want to mention if you don't have exact change, for instance, this.
So if it's a $12 bet, right? So I do the math for you. It's a $12 bet. Let's say it pays, we place in a bet and we go 7-6, right? And we have $12 there. So we go 12 divided by 12 divided by so we got a $12 place bet on the 6, right? Let's say we got a place bet on the 6 and it pays 7-6. So we would do $12 divided by 6 will equal 4. So then you will multiply that by 7, and that gets you obviously it's going to be 7 and 4. This is going to get you $28, and you double, right? So just giving you food for thought as to how they pay out these numbers.
You can actually bet more. You could bet 12, 24, and go up. But if you don't have the change, you can always give the dealer, and this is where you're going to place your bet in here in the come, you can always give the dealer $15 because we don't have any ones in our rack. So what they'll do is they'll take your 15 and they'll give you $3 and change, and they'll put it in front of you.
It's actually 5 to 6. Or 6 to 5, 6 for every 5.
And then they'll place your bet of $12, and you can just put the change in your rack. So don't worry about it if you don't have exact change. They'll
So they give you 15. You give $3, they give you 15 back.
tell you how much to give you, and you could always ask. That's what the dealers are there for. So they'll make change for you if you don't have it. Now there are plenty of other bets. There's a bet actually behind the pass line where you can make it. You can bet on all these numbers at once if you'd like. There's different versions of these bets. For instance, the 4 and 10, instead of making what's called a place bet, you can make a buy bet, and it's actually better for the player. So there's a lot of bets in this game that could get really complicated.
Yeah, as you buy the 4 and 10, you have to pay a commission to the casino. So it's typically like $1 or $2 to buy it. Which pays double, right? It's 2 to 1, which is a great bet if they can hit the numbers. And that's the reason why it's important to watch for the guys that know how to set, or the women that know how to set the dice, to be able to give yourself a chance to hit those numbers.
Not to mention the proposition bets, which we haven't talked about. But I cover a lot of this in my beginner series. I take it at a slow pace, bet by bet, and we cover everything. So if you go over to my website, colorup.club, that's a great place to start. You just give me your email, and I send you out the free video course that breaks it down nice and slow, explains things step by step, so you can really master this game, understand it, and feel comfortable to play the game. I started this Color Up channel years ago because back then there wasn't a whole lot of instruction on this game online or on YouTube, and I really love this game. It's a lot of fun, but so many people are intimidated by it. So that's what I hope to do, and that's my goal here at Color Up, is to introduce new players to the game, get them comfortable with the game, so we can all enjoy this game that I love. So watch more of my YouTube videos or go to my website, colorup.club, to download that free beginner course. But I hope this video has helped remove some of the intimidation around the game, and I'm going to wish you, until next time, good luck on Coloring Up.
There you have it. Color Up is a very informative channel that I like to go to peep other strategies, different strategies that he like to showcase here on the channel. But this is a great channel if you want to learn, from any casino games, man, from slots to tables to, whatever you like to do when you go inside a casino. He have a very detailed channel at breaking down a lot of the things that people like to do in these casinos. But very dope channel. We just getting started over here. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Over here we just discussed a lot about craps, a lot about just casino, with how to be profitable with stepping inside these casinos. We're gonna go over a lot of guides. We're gonna go over a lot of strategies. We're just going to go over a lot of things that I like to do. We're going to have some POVs. We're going to have some collaborative projects. We're just going to do any and everything to make this channel as successful as it could be. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, because that's the only way we're going to grow. Again, I am the Gambling Fanatic. My good folks call me PLO. I think it's about that time, man. I got to go.